all, welcome back to the homeschool. And today I am here with the very important questions on a chapter electricity. See, I am going to deal the different models that can appear in the board examinations for all the boards, for CBSE board as well as for the state board. As long as the syllabus and textbooks are same, the same model of questions can be asked for any board. So I have come up with varieties of questions that can be asked on a chapter called electricity, right? So let us start the session. You can see the first question which is there on a board. A wire is stretched 3 times its length. What is the change in resistance and resistivity, right? See, this kind of problems on resistance and resistivity is a common type of problems that can be asked for any board examination. Clear? So, I have got two such very interesting questions on resistance here. So, let us try to deal with them, right? So, I think you have understood the question, right? Say you have a wire. Initially, you have some wire, right? So this wire has certain length L and it has a certain area of cross section A and it has a resistance, let me take R1, okay, and it has a resistivity rho, right? So this is a small wire which has a length L, area A, resistance R1 and a resistivity rho. And now what we are doing is we are stretching that wire 3 times. The same wire I am stretching for 3 times. Okay, I increased its length 3 times. So what would happen for L? L also will increase by 3 times. So here the L is 3L, isn't it? Say for example, say you have this wire. Anyway, this is not a stretchable wire, but still, say this much is the wire I took. When I stretch it, what would happen? The length will increase. I am stretching it for 3 times. So the length also will increase by 3 times. So that's the reason I have written here the length is 3L. Right? Original length was L, but I am stretching it for 3 times. So the length is 3L. And what would happen for the area? Will the area of cross section remain same? Definitely no. See, if it is a fatter wire, imagine stretchable wire. The moment I stretch, the wire would become thinner, right? Wire is becoming thinner in the sense what? The area inside is also becoming less. So definitely when I increase a length by 3 times, the length is increasing. I wrote it as 3L. What happens automatically here is change in area also takes place. So area will decrease by 3 times, guys. When length is increasing by 3 times, our area, okay, say actually I have drawn it here fatter wire, right? The moment you stretch it, the wire would become much thinner. The wire would become much thinner. So length is 3L. Our area will decrease by 3 times. So it is A by 3. Okay, initially the area was A, but the moment I stretch it for 3 times, length has increased 3 times. So 3L, area will decrease by 3 times. Okay, so now the resistance of this wire definitely changes because length has changed, area has changed. So let the resistance of this wire be R2. What will happen for resistivity, guys? Will the value of resistivity changes? No, right? So we studied the concept of resistivity. As long as you have same type of wire, if the wire is made up of same material, okay, the resistivity does not depend on length and area. Okay, resistivity is a property of a material, right? Okay, imagine this is a copper wire, this is also copper wire. So resistivity will not change. You might have changed length and area, but the resistivity will not change because resistivity doesn't depend on length and area. Okay, so what will happen for the resistivity, guys? Resistivity will not change. Okay, but what they are asking in a question is how many times the resistance will change compared to the original one. Okay, so how do you do? The best way of doing such problem is taking a ratio. Take the ratio R2 by R1. Okay, so what is R2 here? R2 is equal to rho into 3L divided by 1 by 3A or A by 3. We all know the formula for resistance, right? R is equal to rho L by A. Okay, R2 is the new resistance of a new wire after stretching it and after its length has increased by 3 times and area decreased by 1 by 3 times. Okay, so R2 is equal to length is 3L, right? Divided by area. Area is what? A by 3, right? So what is our R3? Sorry, R2. R2 is equal to this 3 if it goes to numerator. What happens? 3 3s are 9. You will get 9 rho L by A. This is your R2, right? And what is your R1? R1 is equal to normal rho L by A. This is your R1. So substitute these things. What is your R2? 9 rho L by A divided by rho L by A. So this gets cancelled. So what do you get? R2 by R1 is equal to 9. That means the new resistance, the resistance of a wire after stretching, how many times the resistance is increasing? 9 times the resistance is increasing compared to the original one. Isn't it? So R2 is equal to 9 times the original resistance. Original resistance is R1. Okay, the new resistance of a new wire now after doing stretching, you know how many times the resistance is increasing? 9 times. So this is how you have to do a problem if such question is asked. Clear everybody? So don't forget, don't just think that, see, when a wire is stretched 3 times, okay, you will logically think that the length will increase by 3 times and you will take the length as 3L. But sometimes you would forget to take the area. Here area also undergoes a change. When length is increasing by 3 times, our area will decrease by 1 by 3 times. Okay, so you have to consider the change in area also, then substitute in a formula and carefully, like if you take a ratio, you will come to know how many times the new resistance has changed compared to the original one. Yeah, fine. So again a similar type of a question. You can see a second question here. A piece of wire of resistance 20 ohm is stretched. Again here you have a piece of wire, right? And its resistance was 20 ohms. Let me take its resistance as R1, 20 ohms. And this is stretched so that its length is increased to twice its original length. Okay, let the length of this wire is L, area is A. Okay, fine. And you know, this particular wire has stretched. Okay, it is stretched so much that its length has become 2L. Okay, length has increased to twice its original length, they said. If the length of original wire was L, the length of a new wire would be 2L, because they clearly said that it is stretched and its length is increased to twice its original length. Okay, see here, sometimes you have to be careful with the language also. See, if you do not know or if you do not understand better English, sometimes you would be confused with such questions, right? So you should be little familiar with the language also, right, in dealing with such questions. So they said the original wire was increased twice. So definitely if the length of original wire was L, the length of a new wire is definitely 2L. Okay, and what would happen for the area, guys? When the length is increased by 2 times, our area will decrease by 2 times. So here area of this new wire is A by 2, right? Say just like here, the length was increased 3 times, 3L, area decreased by 3 times, so A by 3 is the area. Similarly here, the length is increased 2 times, so length is 2L, area will decrease by 2 times, so area is A by 2. Okay, and let the resistance of this wire is R2, resistivity is rho here. Here also resistivity is rho. Okay, fine. What you have to calculate? Calculate resistance of a wire in new situation. Now this is a new situation. You have to calculate R2 value here. Same as this. Okay, take a ratio. R2 by R1. So what is R2? R2 is equal to rho into length is 2L. Area is A by 2. So R2 is equal to rho into this denominator to denominator goes to numerator. So 2 into 2, 4L by A. This 4 I'll take it outside. R2 is equal to 4 into rho L by A. This is your R2, right? And what is R1? R1 is equal to rho L by A. That's it. So substitute here. What is R2? 4 rho L by A divided by what is R1? Rho L by A. So this gets cancelled, right? So you got R2 by R1 is equal to 4. R2 is equal to 4 into R1. Here R1 they have given, right? 20 ohms. So R2 is equal to 4 into 20 ohms. So R2 is nothing but 4 to the 8, that is 80 ohms. See, the length is increased by 2 times, area decreased by 2 times, our resistance has increased by 2 times. See, what is the resistance of this wire? 20 ohm. But the new wire's resistance, how much you got? 80 ohms. See, so as the length is increased by 2 times, our resistance is also getting increased by 2 times because resistance is directly proportional to length, right? Got to know? So this is how questions can be asked on resistance and resistivity. So what will happen for the change in resistivity? Will the resistivity of a new wire changes? Definitely no, right? Because as long as the wires are made up of same material, though you change length and area, okay, it doesn't matter in case of resistivity. Resistivity will remain same here. Clear? Resistivity doesn't depend on length and area. Resistivity is a nature of material, right? So here also resistivity will not change, but resistance will change. Same way here, resistivity will not change, but the resistance has changed. Okay? When you increase length and area. So you have to be very, very careful with such questions, right? Fine. Let us go for another model. Let's look at the third question, series and parallel combinations. What they are asking you to find out is current through the circuit. They asked you to find out current through the circuit. Circuit has been given, right? Total current you have to find out. Voltage is given. Many resistors have been connected here. So definitely current will flow from positive end, that is I. I is question mark here. I you have to find out. So what is the formula for I? Ohm's law. What is your Ohm's law? V is equal to IR. Right? So I is nothing but V divided by R. Total current is equal to potential difference divided by resistance. So this resistance is the total resistance you have to consider. So V we know 4.5. What is our total resistance? We don't know this. This is a question mark. Right? So how do you find the total resistance? You can observe here the 3 resistors are in series. For this resistor, these 2 are in parallel, right? See, current flows and here current is getting divided. Wherever current is getting divided at a certain point, then these 2 are in parallel, right? Okay, so let me give numbers for the resistors. Let this be R1 resistor. this is R2 resistor, this is R3 resistor, this is R4 resistor, and this is R5 resistors. Okay, fine. So you have to find a total resistance now, but before that you should carefully see the circuit. So at this point the current will divide. So R4 resistor is in parallel with R1 and R2. R4 resistor is in parallel with R1 and R2, right? So what you have to do is, let me write that R4 is parallel with R1 and R2, right? And now R1 and R2 are in series, now, right? So first let us find out this combination. So how do you find resistance in case of series combination? Let me take it as R dash is equal to R1 plus R2. So R dash is equal to, what is R1? 1 plus 3, right? 1 ohm is R1, R2 is 3 ohm. So R dash is equal to 4 ohm. Right? So I combined. So now you draw the circuit diagram. What do you get? I combined this. Both of them have become together. This is how, right? And this is a 6 ohm resistor. This is 3.6 ohm resistor. This is 3 ohm resistor. And now the Reeve resistor that has 4 ohm. 4 ohm. Right? And now this is your R dash. And this is your R4. Okay, so first you have to find out this and this is parallel, no? So find the parallel resistance here. So how do you find the parallel resistance here? 1 by R is equal to 1 by 4 plus 1 by 6, right? Okay, fine. So what do you get here? What is the LCM? Let me take 6 4s are 24. Okay, and here it would be 6 plus 4. So 1 by R is equal to 10 by 24. That implies RP, parallel resistance, no? Parallel resistance I'm calculating. RP is equal to 24 by 10. That is 1s are, 2s are, plus 4, no? 4, 2.4. So RP is equal to 2.4 ohms. Right? So now I combined this and this. I got how much, guys? 2.4. So now my new circuit is this. I combined this and this together. It has become how much? It has become how much? 2.4. And this is how much, guys? 3.6. And this is 3 ohm. Okay. So now these guys are in series. So if you combine the series resistors, you get a total resistance. Yes or no? So what is your total resistance? RT is equal to 3.6 plus 2.4 plus 3. So how much do you get? 3.6 plus 2.4, that is 6. 6 plus 3, 9. 9 ohms you are getting. Total resistance is 9 ohms. Understood how we calculated total resistance? Okay, see, these two are in series. See, with R4, R1 and R2 are in parallel, but these two are in series. First we finished off that. We got 4 ohms. Now 4 ohms and 6 ohms are in parallel. Okay, we finished that. Here we got 2.4. So together is 2.4. Now these three guys are in series. They are coming in a same circuit, same line. Right? So that is your total resistance, 9 ohm. Okay, and now you substitute here. I have a less place here, so let us do a thing. Voltage is how much? 4.5. And what is our total resistance? 9. So 9 ones are, right? 9 fives are 0.5 amperes. This is your answer. So what is your I? I is equal to 0.5 amperes you have got. Okay, got to know? So this is how you have to carefully find out the current that is generated in a circuit. So you should carefully find out the total resistance. So that is your main task. Finding total resistance is a main task. Later, voltage is definitely given. Just apply the Ohm's law and find the current, right? But you should carefully find the total resistance. And before that, you should carefully observe the circuit. So which resistors are in series, which resistors are in parallel, observe, and step by step, you try to simplify the circuit and later find total resistance. Yeah? Fine. And let us come to one more very, very, very important model, okay, on series and parallel combination. See this question. Actually, this was a question asked in one of your board examination, CBSE board examination. So, carefully observe this. Three resistors are connected to form the sides of triangle ABC. Three resistors are connected to form the sides of a triangle ABC. Okay, three resistors. This is one resistor. This is another resistor. This is our third resistor. Fine. Okay. Resistance of side AB is 40 ohms. Okay. Fine. Side BC is 60 ohms. And side CA or AC is 100 ohms. Fine. Find the effective resistance between points AB. Find the effective resistance between the points AB. Okay. You should find the effective resistance between the points AB. So you would be wondering, ma'am, between AB they have already given 40 ohms. No, maybe that is the answer. No. Effective resistance here means total resistance they are asking. Okay, but between a point AB, what is that? Actually, what you have to do is, between A and B, you have to put a battery. Put a battery, guys. Put a battery. Now it has become a circuit, no? Yes or no? It has become a circuit. Right? Has it become a circuit? Definitely. You see here, okay, from this side, the current will flow. Okay, current is flowing. At this point, your current is breaking. That means this part and this part is parallel to each other. This resistor and these two resistors are parallel to each other. See, at a point B, your current is dividing. Half a current is going to this part, half a current is going to this part. Okay, so find the total resistance. How do you find effective resistance between point A and B? The moment they said effective resistance, it is total resistance. Okay, so total resistance you have to find between A and B. They said no. To that you connect a battery, it becomes a circuit. Clear? So this is how you have to frame a circuit first and later find out the total resistance. So framing a circuit is very important, guys, between A and B. So between point A and B, I am connected a battery. Clear? Fine. And now the thing is, you all know this is parallel to these two guys, but these two are in series, no? First finish off that. These two are in series, no? Finish off that. So let me take R1, this as R1, this as R2, and this as R3. So what I observed from a circuit diagram is my R1 and R2 are in parallel with R3. Yes or no? R1 and R2 are in parallel with R3 because at point B, it is dividing. Half a current is going to this part, half a current is going to this part. So these two and this are in parallel. And now, okay, and what I observed here is R1 and R2 are also in series. are also in series. First finish off this, join, combine these two. So what do you get? R dash is equal to R1 plus R2. That implies what is R1? 60 plus 100, right? So R dash is equal to 160 ohms. Now I will simplify my circuit so that you will understand better. Okay. See, now what do I get? This is our battery. Okay. Fine. And this is point B, this is point A. Here you have a resistor and I joined both of them. It has become one now. It has become one resistor with 160 ohms. So, yes, this is 40 ohms now and this is 160 ohms now. Now you understood, no? Right? Completely now this and this is in parallel. So apply the parallel combination formula and find out the total resistance. So what is R total? Total resistance is what? 1 by 40 ohms plus 1 by 160 ohms. Okay. So what do you do here? 40 into 160 divide in the denominator and in the numerator you would get 160 plus 40, right? So 1 by RT is equal to, this would be 200 divided by 40 into 160. This. So what you would get? 160, right? Fine. So 1s are 2s are. So 16 2s are 32. So 1 by RT is equal to 1 divided by 32. RT is equal to 32 ohms. So total resistance is 32 ohms. Isn't it? See, very simple. No circuit diagram given, nothing. Just they said you have three resistors connected in the form of a triangle. And they said to calculate total resistance between point A and B. So what you have to just do, connect a battery between them. You will get a circuit. And now carefully observe the resistors like which are in series and which are in parallel. Do a total resistance calculation. Clear? So it's a very, very important model that has come for the board examination many times. That's why I purposefully selected this question. Here everybody. So let us go for one more question on series and parallel type. Hey people, look at the question here. There's a circuit diagram given. 5 resistors are connected in a circuit as shown in the figure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 resistors are connected. What you have to find out is ammeter reading when the circuit is closed. Yeah, switch is there, closed switch. Ammeter reading. So what does the ammeter measures? Ammeter always measures current, right? So you have to find out the current that is flowing in a circuit. Total current you have to find out. So to find out the total current, what do you need? Say total current you have to find out. Apply Ohm's law. V is equal to IR. I is equal to V divided by R. Yes or no? So V is given, voltage is given, that is 3 volts, but R we don't know. We want the total resistance for the formula, right? So you need to find out the total resistance first. So how do you do that? You have to carefully analyze the circuit diagram here. You see here, your current will start flowing from this end. It reaches here. At this point, the current is splitting. That means this part, see, this part is in parallel with this part. Got to know? See, your current is exactly splitting here, guys. So definitely this triangle part is actually parallel to your main circuit. Here R4 and R5 are in series with this triangle part. So first you have to finish off the calculating the resistance of this triangle part. Got to know? Understood the basic concept here? See, at this point, your current is flowing, one path is this, another path is this. Okay, so definitely this and this definitely parallel to each other. So let us finish off this triangle part now. You can see here R1 and R2 are again parallel with R3, right? So what I would like to write here is initially R1 and R2 are parallel with R3. Okay, R1 and R2 are parallel with R3. First, I'm doing the resistance of this part, this triangle part. Okay, fine. This and this is parallel to this. But R1 and R2 are in series, right? But R1 and R2 are in series. So first try to add R1 and R2, right? So what do? R dash is equal to R1 plus R2. So that implies R1 is 3 ohms, R2 is 3 ohms. You will get 6 ohms. Okay, so your R dash is equal to 6 ohms. Combination of R1 and R2 is 6 ohms. I will rewrite the diagram once again here. So my diagram would be, right? This is like this. And this is your R4. And this is your R5. And this is R3. And now I combined this with this because both are in series, no? So now this is actually your R dash. Okay, R dash. Now R dash is how much? R dash is 6 ohms. R3 is how much? R3 is 3 ohms. Now you have to finish off this and this, right? R dash and R3 is in parallel now, right? So R dash and R3 are in parallel. Are in parallel. So how do you calculate? 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R dash plus 1 divided by R3, which implies 1 divided by R dash is how much? Just now we calculated 6 plus 1 divided by R3 is 3. So 6 is the LCM, right? So 1 plus 2. 1 by Rp is equal to, what do you get? 1 by Rp is equal to 3 by 6. That is 1s are 2s are. So I would be getting Rp is equal to how much? 2 ohms, right? So the whole combination is equal to 2 ohms. Now again I will redraw the diagram. Again I will simplify. I have combined this and this now. So my circuit has become like this, right? And this is my R4 and this is my R5 and this is a new combined one. What is the value I have got? 2 ohms. This is 2 ohm and R4 is 0.5 ohm. R5 is also 0.5 ohm. Right? Now this is my new circuit, the overall circuit. Now all the three are in series, right? So total resistance RT is equal to R4 plus R5 plus R double dash. I'll consider this as R double dash now. See now triangle part, the whole triangle part is over. The whole triangle part's resistance is 2 ohms. That let it be R double dash. Okay. So now add everything. 0.5 plus 0.5 plus 2 ohms. So that would be how much? 3 ohms, right? So RT is equal to 3 ohms. So we got to know the total resistance. Now only thing is substitute here. V is equal to how much? 3 volts. And total resistance just now we calculated how much? 3 ohms. So current is equal to 1 ampere. So your answer is 1 amperes. Okay, so understood the whole problem. See, in every step, if you can simplify your circuit diagram, you will not get confused at the end. Okay, so step by step you have to calculate. So at this point we all know a circuit is divided, right? So this part is one thing, this part is one thing, but these two guys are again in series, and that is what we considered as R dash, and that R dash is parallel with R3. So this part we have finished it off, and we combined this and we got 2 ohms, and now the new that whole triangle part is in series with R4 and R5. So the total resistance to calculate, we have added all the 3 and we got 3 ohms as a total resistant, applied Ohm's law, substituted and calculated the total current flowing in a circuit. Okay, so you have to be very, very careful when such problems are asked. Let us move on to some more questions. A torch bulb is rated at 3 volt and 600 milliamperes. Calculate its power and also energy consumed if it is lighted for 4 hours. So first, let us calculate the power. Before that, let us try to write what is the given information. So what is given? Voltage is given, that is 3 volts, and current is given, that is 600 milliamperes. So you should convert this into amperes. 600 milli in the sense 10 to the power of minus 3 amperes. Okay, fine. Current is given, voltage is given. Can't you find out power? What is the formula for power? Power is equal to V into I, right? So what is V? 3 into 600 into 10 to the power of minus 3, right? So what do you get? 3 6 are 18, right? 0 0 into 10 to the power of minus 3, right? 10 to the power of minus 3 in the sense what? It's nothing but 1800 divided by 1000. If you do, how much do you get? You will be getting around 1.8, isn't it? 1.8. What is the unit for power? Watt. Watt. So this much is the answer for the first question. Okay, coming to the second question, you have to find out the energy, guys. So what is given? Time is also given, that is 4 hours. If you calculate time in seconds, it will be 4 into 60 into 60 seconds. Isn't it? Fine. If you have to calculate energy in joules, you should take time in seconds. If you are calculating energy in watt hour, then you can take time in hours only. Here you have to be very careful, guys. Okay, say in a question, if they have not mentioned to calculate in joules or kilowatts, you can calculate it in whichever units you want. First, I am calculating it in joules. I'll show both the ways. Okay, I am calculating this in joules. See, for that I have converted the time which was there in hours into seconds. Clear? So what is the formula for energy? Energy is equal to power into time. Power we have calculated here. So it is 1.8 into time, 4 into 60 into 60, right? So what is the energy we will get? 25,920 joules. This much joules of energy I will get, right? So I calculated energy in joules. For that, time must be converted into seconds. Okay, and now energy in watt hour. I am calculating my energy in watt hour. Okay, for that E is equal to P into T. So here P is 1.8 into time. Okay, time is 4 hours only I will take. Okay, because I am calculating my energy in watt hour unit. Clear? So what is the answer I will get? 4 8s are 32, isn't it? 4 1s are 4, 5 6 7. That is 7.2 watt hour. And if you want to calculate it in kilowatt hour, then what you have to do? For this you have to divide by 1000, right? 7.2 divided by 1000 If you do, you will get your answer in kilowatt hour. Clear? Like this. See, either you can calculate it in joules or you can calculate in kilowatt hour. If you are calculating in kilowatt hour, don't convert time, keep it in hours. If you are calculating in joules, convert hours into seconds. Okay, so here you have to be very, very careful in calculating energy. Okay, the next important model is, just look at the question. A 250 watt electric bulb, is lighted for 5 hours daily. And 4 6-watt bulbs are lighted for 4.5 hours daily. Calculate energy consumed in kilowatt hours. You have to calculate energy in kilowatt hours in the month of February. Actually, such kind of questions I have done in the concept clarity videos, right? Say we have 9 videos which included detailed explanation on concept, where I covered few questions also. I have covered one of such question in the videos. If you want detailed explanation on a concept, you can just go to the description box where I have given all the links. Just click the links, get perfect with the concept, then do a problem. You feel it more easier. Clear? Fine. So try to understand the question. We have electric bulb. Okay, we have 2 instruments here. One is electric bulb, and another one is 6-watt bulbs, 6-watt normal bulbs, 6-watt bulbs. Okay, so you have to find out energy consumed by electric bulb in the month of February. February month has how many days, guys? It is 28 days, right? Forget about leap year. Leap year will have 29 days, but normally February we consider as 28 days. Okay, so they are telling every day the electric bulb is burning for 5 hours. Okay, so for 28 days, how much is the energy consumed? You have to find out. Similarly, you have 4 6-watt bulbs. They are burning for 4.5 hours daily. So daily, if they burn for 4.5 hours, in total of 28 days, how much energy is consumed by 6-watt bulbs? Okay, so separately we will find out the energy consumed by electric bulb and the energy consumed by 6-watt bulb. Okay, so we all know how to find out the energy, right? The formula is power into time, right? Okay, keep this in mind. Now, very first thing I will do is, I am finding energy consumed. Energy consumed by electric bulb. By electric bulb in 28 days. February month has 28 days, no? So in 28 days. So energy consumed by electric bulb, right? So power, what is the power of electric bulb, guys? 250 watt. So 250 watt into time. So what is the time? 5 hours. They are asking you to calculate energy in kilowatt hour. So I am not converting time into seconds here. Okay, so 5 hours for how many days, guys? It is burning for 28 days. Okay, 28 days. So 250 into 5 into 28. How much do you get? You would be getting 35,000 watt hour, right? So energy consumed by electric bulb in 28 days. See, power into time, right? Power is 250, time is 5 hours, but how many days it is burning? February month they asked, 28 days. So 5 into 28. So altogether you will get 35,000 watt hour. They said to find in kilowatt hour, no? Convert watt hour in kilowatt hour. Just divide by 1000. What do you get? You would get energy consumed by electric bulb is equal to 35 kilowatt hour. So this is the energy consumed by electric bulb. Now you have to find out energy consumed by 6-watt bulbs. Okay, I am finding energy consumed by 6 watt bulb in 28 days. Okay, fine. Energy consumed by, just B I will write. That means 6 watt bulb. Fine. So how many 6 watt bulbs are there? You see here 4 6 watt bulbs are there. Yes or no? So 4 into each bulb's power is 6. 6 into energy is power into time, no? So power is 6. Why we have multiplied with 4 here? Because we have 4 6 watt bulbs. Got it? 6 into time is how much? How long it is burning? 4.5. For how many days it is burning? February month. That means 28 days. Okay. So what is the answer? You will get EB is equal to 3024 watt hour. You want to convert it into kilowatt hour, right? So divided by 1000 if you do, you will get 3 kilowatt hour as the answer. Okay. So energy consumed by one electric bulb in 28 days is how much? 35 kilowatt hour. Energy consumed by 4 6 watt bulbs in 28 days is how much? 3 kilowatts. 3 kilowatt hour. Now total energy consumed is how much? You have to add both of them. That is energy consumed by electric bulb plus energy consumed by 6 watt bulb is how much? It is here how much we got? 35 plus 3. How much? 38 kilowatt hour is the answer. Okay. So what is the total energy consumed in the month of February from both electric bulb and normal bulbs, that is 6 watt bulbs? It is 38 kilowatt hour. Say in case here, if they have mentioned cost of each unit is 3 rupees per unit. Okay, what is the total cost of this energy if they ask? Energy 38 into 3 if you do, total cost you will get. So one more variety of question I'm telling you. They may ask you, find the total cost of energy used, they'll ask. They'll give you cost of each unit is this much. So what you have to do, total energy you found, for that multiply with 3 rupees, you will get total cost of electric bill. Okay, got to know? So this is a very, very important model that can be asked in the exam. Either total energy consumed or cost of energy also they'll ask you. They'll give you energy per unit is this much, cost of total energy. All you have to do is the same method, total energy into this value. If you do, you will get the cost. People, look at this problem which is similar to the previous one, but here they are asking the total cost of electricity consumed. Okay, let us read the question. An office uses 6 bulbs of 25 watt each. Okay, office has 6 bulbs. Each bulb's power is 25 watt. And 2 fans. Office also uses 2 fans of 100 watt each for 10 hours daily. Bulbs are used for 10 hours and fans are also used for 10 hours. How many bulbs? 6. What's the power? 25 watt. How many fans? 2. What is the power? 100 watt. Both of them are used for 10 hours daily. The office is open on all days. Means in a month, office is open for all the days. So in a month, how many days you will consider? 30 days, not 31. I know some months have 31, okay? But normally month in the sense 30, right? So office is open for all the 30 days. That means all the 30 days for about 10 hours, 6 bulbs are in use and 2 fans are in use. Okay, fine. What is the cost of electricity? See the question. If the cost of electricity is rupees 5 per unit, unit in the sense kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour is called unit. So 1 kilowatt hour cost is 5 rupees. What is the monthly expenditure of electricity? So what you have to find here, total energy consumed in a month you have to find. Okay, energy consumed you have to find it in kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour amount is 5 rupees. So total energy, total kilowatt hours that has consumed, that the energy consumed in a month is how much they are asking. Total bill, monthly bill of electricity they are asking. Okay, so how to do? First, individually let us find energy consumed by 6 bulbs and find out energy consumed by 2 fans separately in 30 days. Later add the total energy. So 1 unit is this much. So for total units, how much? Very simple, right? Let us do it. First point is energy consumed by 6 bulbs in 30 days. That's what I am going to find out. Okay, we all know energy formula. Energy is equal to power into time, right? So energy consumed by bulb, that is EB. So how many bulbs? 6. What is the power? Power into time, right? What is the power of a bulb? 25 watts. 25 watt. Into time, 10 hours. Both are running 10 hours. 10 hours. How many days? Monthly. In a month they said. That means 30 days. Okay. So how much do you get here? EB is equal to 45,000 you will get. 45,000 watt hour. Okay. If you have to convert this into kilowatt hour, multiply by 1000. So you would be getting 45 kilowatt hour. So energy consumed by 6 bulb every day 10 hours for about 30 days is this much energy. Okay. So 45,000 watt hour, if you convert it into kilowatt hour, it is 45 kilowatt hour. Right? Fine. Next, I am finding energy consumed by 2 fans. There are 2 fans in 30 days. In 30 days. Energy consumed by fans. Same formula, power into time. But how many fans, guys? That you have to be careful. 2 fans. 2 into power. Power of each fan is 100. 100 into how many hours? 10 hours a day it is running. And how many days? 30 days. So what's your answer? Your answer is 60,000 watt hour. If you have to convert it into kilowatt hour, divide by 1000. So you would be getting 60 kilowatt hour. So what is the total energy? Add these two. Total energy. E total. Total energy is energy consumed by bulb plus energy consumed by fan. Yes or no? So you would be getting 45 plus 60, which is equal to 105 kilowatt hour. So what is your total energy consumed per month? It is 105 kilowatt hour. Now, energy of 1 kilowatt hour. See, the rupees of 1 kilowatt hour. 1 unit in the sense 1 kilowatt hour. So, 1 unit or 1 kilowatt hour cost is 5 rupees. Right? So, 105 kilowatt hour cost is how much? Cross multiply. What do you get? 105 into 5. So how much? 5 5s are 25, 0, 2, 5 and 5. That means 520 rupees is the monthly expenditure of this much energy. Okay. So this much energy's expenditure cost is 525 rupees. Very, very important model. Common model, okay, most of the times have been asked in the board examination. So you have to be very, very careful with this particular model. Cost and energy problems. Okay. Fine. Let us come to a simple problem. See here, an electric iron of 1 kilowatt is operated at 220 volts. Find which of the following fuses can be used in it. Every equipment is connected to a fuse, right? What is a fuse? Fuse actually protects our electrical appliances. Whenever more current is flown into our electrical appliances, more than the required amount of current when flown, what will happen? The equipment may get damaged. So to avoid that, fuses are used. Fuses will not allow the flow of high electric current into the device. Okay, fuse will protect. So we have discussed about the importance of fuses, and I very well explained with a particular example also, right, in the last video, that is video number 9. If you want, the video link is there in a description box. You can go to the video, get the concept clarity, and then you will understand what is the importance of fuse, right? Okay. So electric iron of 1 kilowatt is operated at 220 volts. Find which of the following fuses can be used in it. Okay, to that electric iron, in the circuit of electric iron, if you have to fix the fuse, which fuse will you fix? Will you fix 1 ampere having fuse, or 2 amperes of fuse, 5 ampere containing fuse, and 7 ampere containing fuse? So what you have to do? You have to find out the current in this case. Okay, first let us find out the current. What is given here? Given information is power is given. Power is 1 kilowatt. Convert it into watts. Kilo in the sense what? 1000. That means 1000 watt. Okay, 1 kilowatt in the sense 1000 watt. Voltage is given 220 volts. So now what you have to find out? I you should find out. So power is equal to V into I, right? So I is equal to P by V. So power is how much? 1000. Voltage is how much? 220. So how much do you get? 0, 0 gets cancelled. 11 and this is 50, right? So almost you will get 4.5 amperes. You would be getting I is equal to 4.5 amperes. So here electric iron capacity is 4.5 amperes. It can take up to 4.5 amperes. See, if more than 5 amperes of current is given to an electric iron, the electric iron will get damaged. Okay, its maximum capacity of drawing a current is 4.5 amperes. So what is the fuse that can fix with this electric iron? You can go for 5 amperes fuse. Yes or no? Say more than 5 amperes, if the current goes to the electric iron, it will get damaged because its maximum capacity, the current that it can draw is this much. So the fuse, whatever you use, should have little more capacity than this. Okay, little more capacity than 4.5 is 5 amperes. 7 amperes is much higher. Okay, no. 2 amperes is less than that. 1 ampere is less than that. So little higher than that is 5 amperes. So option C, you will be using fuses of 5 amperes to protect your electric iron in a circuit. So this is how questions can be asked. So I think I have covered almost all the important models that have been asked for your board examination. Concentrate on these models, take a book and practice all this and related problems. So with this, I am completing a chapter called electricity. Let us meet up with one more new chapter of class 10 physics. Clear? With this, I end my session. Please subscribe our channel to learn the concepts in a easiest way and in a detailed way. Okay? Thank you so much.